Chapter 70. It was now or never. He had spent the last week grinding for affection points, mining every snippet of dialogue for clues about her likes, dislikes, and most secret of secrets. Either he was going to win her heart over, or die trying. Dark Lord Dennis stared into the pixelated screen, staring back at him. Fine, he wasn't really in any danger of dying, but if you didn't editorialize your own life, you were kind of in danger of becoming a boring scrub. And that's the last thing he'd want people to call him. Boring, that was. Or, maybe a scrub. The game had given him the choice between a really cute, athletic, tough, and yet kind-hearted girl who was also a monster and some forgettable girl. He had gone for the latter because blandness was pretty in right now, and even in-game Dennis had no interest in his character having to level up physical stats to prove his affection. He was beyond mere physicality. That was just the way he was. It was kind of hard to see her face because he had turned all the lights to romance red on the auto dimmer, which was one step below Bloodreaver's Revengeance red. Also, all the in-game environments were really dark and dim, but that kind of added to the affectionate mood that had been building.
Upperclassman.
Blandine began, and Dennis grit his teeth, firmly encouraged by the presence of a wall scroll of uncountable age and wisdom. He wasn't sure what it said, but Mr. Mammon had been selling it at a high price, so it was either legit or ironically legit.
I feel as if there's no one else who really understands me. I made this for you.
He could feel the sweat on his high-tier gaming control as the in-game sprite shifted to
PSSH. What am I supposed to do with human flesh? I've already ground all the area around here for it, geez. Of course, they give you stuff you can't even use in the last act. Gaming is dead.
Flopping back onto his bed in disappointment, Dennis kicked ineffectually at the controller until he managed to get it just so and the game switched off. His ceiling stared back at him. Some people got all introspective when they were looking at the ceiling, but not him. Not today. Not much, at least.
Lorelei, you should visit sometime. It's so boring down here. I almost miss getting attacked and beaten following your useless magical hide around. And stuff. I don't miss it, actually. Lorelei.
Hey. Well, he hadn't really talked to her for a while, but it's not as if he had said anything spectacularly rude, recently. Maybe something was up? An unpleasant feeling gnawed at the back of his spine. Like that one show, where the one girl lurking outside with the one weapon is all ready to jump out and even the hero is caught off guard. That was the one.
Please don't let there be something scary out there.
Dennis whispered, and slowly moved aside his newly remodeled blockades against the peephole. He had managed to completely ignore the thumping from this legendary outside place that had been going on for some time, but that was usual. Nobody wanted to interact with anybody else any more than they had to, right? And that went, double for him. Still. Outside he could just make out the figure of some strange, sad little soul. Probably a minor functionary he had never seen before? Weird. Usually there was a whole line of them, clattering for his attention. Sighing, Dennis let himself out of his battle chamber, scratching his elbow amicably. Lorelei had told him that scratching yourself in public sometimes lost you friends. He had been really grateful for the advice, and told her as much.
Yo. What's up?
Functionary D, which Dennis had already decided stood for deficient, just stared at him all slack-jawed.
My Dark Lord. Don't you know? We've been trying to get you to evacuate for days. Cool. Why?
The minor monster minister gave out a long and hellish screech, but that was kind of par for the course for beasts with 3 necks and multiple serpentine faces, at least in this part of the woods. Dennis waited until the functionary had lost their breath, then adjusted his glasses. Being the Dark Lord was the best.
Dark Lord. Don't you know? The world is ending. And though we, here, protected by your powerful auspices, are immune to the damaging tides of world destruction, it shall soon be recast by obscene hands into a new shape.
Ugh. That sounded lame.
Okay. But, what does that have to do with me? Can't you get, Lilium to take care of things?
He was already regretting the words as he spoke, but that wasn't too unusual for the Dark Lord either. The horrified look on this demon's face was just priceless, but also kind of hyperbolic. Had Gormurg already left or something?
My Dark Lord. I don't think you understand how bad things are. How bad things will be. Lilium has already, and I quote, left. Tell that creepy brother of mine he can stay there. Naya.
To give old Tri-Snake some credit, they really did the Naya. With a lot of heart. Dennis was moderately impressed, but only moderately.
Tch, whatever. Listen up. The world's ending. So what, the world ends for someone every day. Maybe I even make it end, for M.
He adjusted his sunglasses again, hoping that Thriptile didn't ask him to clarify, since ending entire villages in computerized role-playing games was a little less impressive and demonic than expected of the Dark Lord. Probably.
Dark Lord. You know full well that position is only earned from power. It would be a shame if other, ambitious demons were to learn of your recalcitrance.
Dennis shrugged. So what if some really red girl or whatever tried to usurp his position? That would be a net win for him, since he had gotten tired of being Dark Lord several seconds ago.
Listen up, I don't care. Wait. I do care a bit. I'll go evacuate with you to if there's a cool, hidden base we can hold up in, but I want to check on some friends first. Wait here, okay?
Since it wasn't a question, the minor functionary was left speechless as Dennis carelessly shut the door in his face, bolted it, twice bolted it, and readjusted the peephole's barricade to block the maximum amount of light. Fiddling with his phone, Dennis waited for the first reply, which came rapidly and told an intricate tale indeed.
//x/\_.
Unfortunately, it was also in a language he hadn't invested enough skill points in, and so he waited for a proper message. Outside his cozy hell hall, he could hear screaming or something, but that was just demons for you.
Hi, I am really busy right now. My brother says we're going to a really far away place. Do you want to join us? No, I'm cool. Do you think the world is ending?
Maybe he should buy some new stuff for the place. Like a chrysanthemum or something. Something nice, that kind of classed the homestead up. Made the breeze a little fresher, that sort of thing.
My bro says that it is.
Hey.
Okay. Don't die. We'll meet up later. Promise. Sure. Actually you can't, my bro says, sorry. Orts.
Dennis chuckled. Not at the weird text things, because what were those even supposed to mean, but that was never a worry to him. Meeting up with people, even people who were spiders, was for casuals anyway.
N/P, your bro is cool. Yeah.
He still hadn't heard from Lorelei, though. Which was pretty scary. Half texting a message to Naki, Dennis gave up and sighed. It was probably the best for all involved if he went out and faced the metaphorical Piper. Which became a little more unnerving when, after he opened the door, a bunch of kinda demon white dust rolled in.
It's scary outside. Gotta chill indoors while this is going on. What does that mean? Get out there. It's probably not as bad as it seems.
It certainly hadn't seemed like the quaint buildings of scenic old Bismuth hadn't been filed away to nothing. Dennis risked opening the door a second time, only to find that the demonic advisor had reformed. Oh, right. Demons. Ugh. Putting aside that he was a demon, Dennis sighed and stepped back outside, where the Pythiocrat was chattering all three of its teeth and, should snakes have teeth? It was kind of screwed up, Dennis decided.
Dark Lord. You just left me to die. Well, yeah. I'm the Dark Lord.
They both nodded in agreement, and the minor functionary patted him gently on the back. It was unwanted physical contact, sure, but Dennis did feel a little proud.
So, what's actually going on and what do we need to do? Have you not heard it? The distant trumpet, so unmistakable to all whose sound it graces? An instrument of the darkest most depths has been sounded. We are to ride to one last, glorious triumph. Ugh! Can't William do it? My Dark Lord, it would not suit matters for you to be deposed, now. Would it? Fine. Assemble the hellish forces, I guess. If we have to. Keep in mind, though, it was all Lilium's stupid decision to give that thing out in the first place. If I see my friend, I'm splitting.
That was very demonish though, so the aide-demon de camp, whose name Dennis vaguely recalled as something like hysteric or something similar, seemed to approve.
Just one final item before we take you to the war room, my Dark Lord. It seems an errant agent has been spotted working with the enemy. Only, it's not one of ours, and that makes me insane with worry.
They had begun to traverse old Bismuth's familiar streets, and Dennis suddenly had the strangest feeling. Was all this going to be gone? Really? He had been here once. When he was younger. Way younger, not that age was the same for people down here. Or people who came in sideways, those weird magic folk.
Hey! Hissifit or whatever. Is the world really ending?
It was the second time he had asked, and the first time he had felt emotion in his voice. He knew that the stubbly strands of not quite beard were shaking at least, but he really felt something. Dennis couldn't tell you whose shop was where, or any of the demons that lived here. He didn't care to know them personally, after all. But that didn't really matter, or maybe that made it matter more. Now all of this was just going to pop into nothingness? That wasn't fair.
Yes, Dark Lord. It shall all burn away to ash. We predict a high chance that things will then restore themselves, although some loss of memory and many other important things, up to and including limbs, may be expected. Literally burn. Figuratively.
Concrete Safe Zone 501 was protected by a series of blockades and elevator shafts that led nowhere. Legend told that it had been designed by the legendary Hell Rider in an attempt to go as fast as possible. Then some morons had dug a super deep pit mine or something, and there had gone that plan. Centillions of demon bucks, wasted. That was good government for you, Dennis thought with pride.
Dark Lord.
His companion began as they clambered into the sole-working elevator in a sea of rusted hulks, each designed to confuse and befuddle potential invaders.
The great dragon, Lazarus, has long been wakeful. Even if the world restores itself in some manner, there is a high likelihood that we shall all perish in his toxic vendetta.
Dennis said nothing, as cavernous walls vanished around them. Sure, it was confusing, but it really was very fast.
Dark Lord Dennis. Aren't you terrified? I know I am. I don't want to perish to toxic vendetta, after all. I have a brood of 10,000 young, each struggling to overthrow my position. I don't want to jeopardize seeing those young vipers show me up. Not really.
Cutting the snake demon off, Dennis found himself laughing. Which was weird, because he hated the sound of his own laugh. Usually.
Actually, this might sound weird, but I've got kind of a good feeling. I mean, have you ever wished that you could, I don't know? Roll the dice, get a different result. Load from a restore point.
History stared with 3 blank emerald eyes, but that was fine, too.
Let me put it like this. It gives me an excuse to do something really cool. Hey.
And Dennis slowly removed his eyewear.
Get me my serious sunglasses.
Chapter end.